Hi, this is my review of The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I feel a bit weird giving you a short summary of what the book is about, but I should probably do it anyway, so here we go. The book was written in the 1920s and is also set in the 1920s. We are reading the book from the perspective of Nick Carraway, who moves to Long Island, to West Egg to be precise. He rents a small house and ends up living next to Jay Gatsby. People don't seem to know a lot about Gatsby. He's quite mysterious, but he's very rich and throws fabulous parties. The other people involved in the story are Daisy and Tom Buchanan. They are also very, very rich, and Daisy is Nick's cousin. A lot of these characters aren't very pleasant. During the dinner party, we discover that Tom has a mistress. The rest of the story is kind of set partly in New York, partly at Gatsby's house during some of his fabulous parties, and in some of the other characters' houses. There's a lot of intrigue and kind of unexpected situations, but this is as far as I'm gonna go. Reading this book feels like a very big thing. You can't help but have expectations because so many people have said that this is their favorite book ever. And also the story of The Great Gatsby seems to be present in the collective cultural consciousness. Once you've read it, you're in the know and you'll understand all the jokes and all the references. I had a very, very mixed reading experience. There were parts that I absolutely loved, there were parts that I didn't really care for, there was some gorgeous writing, and then there were parts where I just had to put the book down for a while. It's only about 170 pages in my edition, but it definitely had its ups and downs for me. A lot of the characters are so terrible, which is something I quite enjoy. I really liked seeing everyone going to these amazing parties at Gatsby's house and having a terrible, terrible time. It tends to happen a lot at parties. People get drunk, people start gossiping, people start fighting. A lot of the very rich characters like to stand around at parties and make sweeping statements about things they don't know anything about, saying phrases that sound very deep and important, but once you try and analyze them, you realize they don't really have any meaning. I definitely thought that Gatsby was a very intriguing character. At first you're kept in suspense because the narrator doesn't really know a lot about him, but then when you do start finding out more about Gatsby, the man and the mystery kind of fall apart. One of my favorite things about the writing, except for the beautiful phrases, was that sometimes moments of action weren't really described, and then the result of those actions is just stated very matter of fact. You're just reading and you can kind of feel that there's something coming, and then all of a sudden this person is dead. Okay. Sometimes that can have a lot more impact than a very dramatic description. Of course, there are a lot of metaphors and symbols in this story, so many references to the color yellow. A lot of people say they hate this book because they were forced to analyze it in high school. I personally really look forward to reading the 50-page introduction that came with my book that I skipped initially. I want to find out more about what's lurking in the depths of this book. I thought that this book could possibly be perfect for me because I love kind of doomed love stories or doomed characters. This is not a book that I'll be reading over and over again. I will probably reread it in the future just to see if my experience has changed in any way. And I also tend to appreciate a book more when I'm reading it for the second time and when I'm not so focused on figuring out what's going to happen. I'm really glad I read it. It was an interesting read with very intriguing characters and beautiful writing. Sometimes it's just really difficult to form an opinion of a book and have a relationship with it when it's so famous. If you want to see some more videos on The Great Gatsby, I can highly recommend this one by Shessomickey, and of course The Great Gatsby videos by Crash Course. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!
Hello me cool.